RTD Live Talk, Detroit's number one late night YouTube talk show. We are live for a Tuesday night edition. Excited to connect and looking forward to finding out what's on your radar. And it looks like we have a definite date for what would be considered the deadline for either kicking the can down the road or just letting this whole house of cards come crumbling down. So we'll find out what they choose to do. But my guess would be they're going to kick the can at just a lower dollar amount, but we'll touch on that. So hope everyone's doing well. As always, want to make sure welcome any new members to the community via the chat or when the phone lines open up. We'll love to hear your voice. Number is 313-462-0027. We'll love to find out what's on your mind, where you're checking in from, and vice versa. So I have about maybe 4 or 5 different stories, all relevant to current events from today. So basically just some of the headlines that caught my attention. And I'm also curious to find out what you guys have been keeping an eye on. So in the chat, let me know, and we'll definitely touch on it. Or feel free to call in when the phone lines open up, and I would love to hear what's on your radar. So as always, let me know if everything's sounding good on my side. I want to make sure that there's no hiccups or issues. So far, so good. Last couple of weeks, no audio issues or video issues. So must not be doing something right then if there's no interference. But anyway, hope everyone's well. We got JoJo Wave checking in. We got William Alexander. It says hello from the flat earth. We got Rick checking in. It said peace and happiness to all. We got Ann Ant, if I'm not saying that incorrectly. Mike C. We got Tom. Said, why is that 75-year-old grandma still working? Great point. And a lot of that has to do with the hearing from today. They were supposed to be about the CARES Act, but they end up going deep into either the can kicking or Yellen used so many. I'm going to actually read through some of the statements she made, but she used so many just buzzwords to just really bring home the point as to if they don't kick this can down the road by increasing the debt load, then this thing is not going to be pretty. So just interesting to see her choice of words and describing how bad things would get as if it's any other way anyway. So anyway, we'll talk about that. But yet she's a former Fed chairwoman. So we got Chairman Powell and former federal chairwoman Yellen sitting there, both too big to fail bankers. Man, those are the people who's who's in charge of our monetary system and our government's finances. The bankers. Anyway, we got Linux checking in, DC Precise. We got AJ Stackerdom. We got Faith Parent, low blood pressure. It was in the Philippines. We got Communist Hunter checking in. It says, ready to fight the Democrat forces and the UN troops. I am ready. Yeah, that sounds very scary there, my man. Linux says, did you see that Guyana is one of the biggest buyers of mercury for gold mining? No, I did not. Not familiar with that at all. Feel free to chime in. Mike C, we got Major Ken checking in, CBD Incorporated. We got Jermaine Scott, Slinging Silver checking in. We got Rogello from Cali. All right, man. Appreciate everybody for checking in, man. As always, lots of subjects we can touch on, but wasn't able to get to them all. So feel free to let me know in the chat what you guys want to cover tonight, and we can definitely do that. And would definitely love to get your thoughts and opinions on some things. But one thing that caught my attention, it happens to be a lot of the words, the buzzwords that Janet Yellen used today to describe what lies ahead. And it's not a matter of this whole alleged debt issue, because whether the debt is further kicked down the road or they decide to let this thing come to an end, or there's some type of event in between that they don't foresee that causes more issues, no matter what that leads to is literally more counterfeiting. So anywhere it go, there's no way around it. The only thing they can do from this moment on is continue to bring more currency into existence, further diluting your purchasing power and putting the world in a mess in the first place. So it's unfortunate that people still consider these hearings and even the very labels, the honorable Janet Yellen, the honorable Fed chair. I'm thinking, like, what's honorable about these people deliberately committing treason, like flat out treason when it comes to the monetary base and how they are counterfeiting with the permission of Congress itself. That's very interesting. But anyway, so I just want to go through a couple articles here, open the phone lines, get your take on things, share with you some things that caught my attention today. And of course, this one was definite eye catcher because it gave a definite, a defined date as to when it looks like the TGA might be completely dry or That's what they're telling us. And I would imagine she probably gave herself a little bit of wiggle room, but it says October 18th. So that is literally maybe about 4 weeks away, give or take. Let me see, 3 weeks away, basically, before stuff could get really nasty as far as the way they're making it described. But what caught my attention even more so was just this visual aid here that just showed a little bit of how the financials matters are unfolding as the accounts are draining. So the billions of dollars. And so as of right now, September-ish, we're right around here. The fiscal year ends on Thursday. So the fiscal year ends on Thursday, and roughly they're trying to make it appear as if there's approximately 200 or so billion that's in their account to make payments on all the obligations that they've committed prior to and the future obligations. But yet it looks like over the next several weeks, week by week, another 100 billion, another 50 billion, another 50 billion, another 50 billion. And by, well, it looks like, according to her time frame, October 18-ish, we'll be touching down in that negative territory, to where at that moment, not quite sure how they're going to resolve those issues there, but there's going to be some bills not being paid. And as she put it, we don't want to jeopardize the full faith and credit, as if that's something that people are really concerned with this moment, knowing they're not getting paid back on the principal anyway. But just this visual aid here shows where this is heading based upon current numbers that they're throwing out there. And then, as I mentioned today, hopefully you guys had a chance to at least, tune in to this political theater of just them attempting to play hardball with these two bankers here. So Janet Yellen just threw out a lot of words, man, that was very interesting, because it's nothing but fear spread out through all these words here. But whether this can is kicked down the road or they let this thing come to an end, no matter what, it's not going to be comfortable for the majority of people that's solely dependent upon all the promises that were, made to them from all institutions, as well as those that are literally still into the system, man. Like, we all know that the big wigs have already been unraveling their exposure to this system by getting rid of a lot of things and actually getting into cash, waiting on that event that would lead to a fire sale. And so based upon all the statements she made here, it said, just give you a little idea of what she talked about here. It says, America would default for the first time in history. Not true. The full faith and credit of the United States will be impaired, and our country will likely face a financial crisis and an economic recession. So, says this would be a manufactured crisis we have imposed on this country, which has been going through a very difficult period, is on the road to recovery, and it will be a self-inflicted wound of enormous proportions. So basically, by not raising the debt load even more, will be considered a self-inflicted wound of enormous proportions. Those are the words she's using out there to describe this. And then, of course, the honorable Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, said that a lot of this is subject to more people participating and helping this pandemic slow down, so that we can get back to normal type of stuff and open up bars and get back to recreational travel and stuff like that. And so these people here, man, I tell you, these banksters are something else. But doesn't surprise me one bit. And so here's an article I thought would be worthwhile, because this is what's going to happen. It says Congress will likely kick the can down the road on funding the government. And so they're going to probably wait to the very last hour to pull out some emergency stops and pass some small minor bills, more than likely just to fund the government for the next 30, 60, 90 days, stuff they've done in the past, but yet never able to really solve the problem of debt, because that's what our system is based upon. And so my expectation would be they're going to pass some temporary measures, some safety measure type things, 30, 60 days, just to get them through the end of the year and then into the new year, hoping that some other events unfold so that they'll be able to then come out and say, we need this stimulus bill, we need this bill passed, or else type of events. So just, what's in the headlines, man? And then, of course, as always, based upon current market conditions, NASDAQ tanks 2.8% in the worst day since March, as yield spikes hit tech stocks. Dow drops 570 points. So those are always numbers and stats that do not fare well when it comes to their false narrative of a recovery. And so that puts more pressure on Congress people right now to really figure out what they want to put at stake, their own legacies and their own futures as politicians, or their grandkids, because they'll just kick the can down the road as we anticipate doing. So we'll see what these market conditions look like. And as always, these things are going to fluctuate big time because they're all subject to the manipulation. No printing, no liquidity is being injected to the system, no continuation of this market. We know how that goes. And then keep it moving. What else is happening? Home heating sticker shock. The worst of natural gas is up. It says the cost of natural gas is up 180%. And so we're seeing increase in natural gas in the EU, Europe, or UK rather. China's going through some energy crises. And basically what they're laying a framework for is that sometime this winter, there's going to be buzzwords coming around here about how energy costs. And I want to say as of right now, oil barrels is climbing. Some economists projected it'd be around $90 a barrel sometime soon. And I think about right now it's about $80 a barrel. So, of course, energy is the underlying factor to everything we do as an economy, because without affordable oil as well as natural gas, then that makes it a lot much more impossible to continue that lie of inflation is not a problem and that it's transitory, as they want to have us to believe. So just something to continue to keep an eye on. So all those alternative means of energy would definitely be worth our while. And of course, for all my people who are well and prepared, throw out some ideas as to what you guys are doing so we can all stay informed and plugged in. And then here is another jawboning attempt by Senator Warren, calls Fed Chair Powell a dangerous man, says she will oppose his renomination. So he's not accommodative enough for Warren. And so she's going to put somebody in there more radical than him, as if they have any other choice but to continue to slap up all that U.S. debt and fund our operations. So anyway, about 2 or 3 more articles and I'll open the phone lines. We can talk some more. And so one thing I'm finding is that just more of the nonsense. Biden says $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill has a price tag of 0. So he literally tweeted the other day saying that there will be no cost. There'll be no cost, no additional debt added to this $3.5 trillion package. And nobody seemed to want to call him out on the carpet for that false statement, because how do you bring into existence something that doesn't exist in the form of debt and it has 0 repercussions to our economy? And of course, they're trying to back that up by saying that it's paid for, as he always says, it's paid for because we're going to tax the rich. We're going to capital gains tax, going to increase that. We're going to go get foreign money, bring it back home and all those things. And that'll equate to about $3.5 trillion within the next 10 years, as if that's going to be the only package they pass this year alone. Nevertheless, next year is going to be a whole nother phase of his Build Back Better agenda, which is I don't know the exact amount of phases it's going to go through, but I want to say in order to get to his objective, which he's made it clear that this is just down payments. And then we knew well before now under the new climate deal under AOC, which is all this is pretty much wrapped up in there, that was about 50 trillion. So 3.5 minus 50 trillion means we still got a lot of stimulus packages and bills to go. So only a fool would believe this guy, but yeah, they do. But some good news on top of all this, outside of all the debt, we know what's most important, which is to be diversified, well diversified out of this. Of course, play these markets to your advantage. If you're in the trading sector, it's going to be lots of opportunity to short a lot of this stuff out here to make profit. But then again, if you're not the sophisticated type, if you're more of the let me take what I have, preserve it, protect it for the future, you're the type of person that loves to get your weight up. And so there's a lot of good articles, man. Like there's more mainstream stories now talking about metal like never before, even though the metal prices have not even moved significantly to warrant all this attention. So they must know that the best place to be under these type of conditions is nowhere near the debt game. But it says 5 key differences between gold and silver from Morgan Stanley, one of the 2 big to fail banks that's rigging the system. They're coming out here giving us 5 key reasons why. Silver may be more tied to the global economy. Silver may be a better inflation hedge. You think silver is more volatile than gold? Who cares? Gold has been more of a powerful diversifier than silver. Silver is currently cheaper than gold. So this is advice from Morgan Stanley on the importance of gold and silver. And then, of course, we look at the charts today. Nothing within that 22, 23, 24 wave. So hopefully you guys are out there taking advantage of these cheap prices. This is probably the cheapest it's going to get in real purchasing power terms. And of course, my gold bug 1736, you can't be mad at that either, I'm sure. And then also, let me while I'm at it, I like to check on the crypto space just for the sake of it, because once again, all these are just tools to be used to provide opportunities for you now to help sustain yourself, as well as to benefit off this manipulated system. And then also be able to set yourself up for hopefully a better future financially. So there's always opportunity in these type of things here. So one thing I'm going to do, just out of my own curiosity's sake, is to continue to, dive deeper and actually connect with some people in this space here, because this is where we're heading. Whether you want to accept it or believe it or not, it doesn't matter. It's not going to wait for you. It's going to keep moving forward. So either you're involved to some capacity or you're not. But yet there's a lot of opportunity here, because a lot of these projects are very disruptive, and they're going to be something that's going to stick around. And it'd be better, in my opinion, to be involved in some capacity than be on the outside looking in, wishing that you would have taken the time to educate yourself and to probably had a little bit of exposure to some things outside of your comfort zones, which for the most, of course, in the stacking community is weight. But, a lot of people out there are educated themselves and diversify a little bit. So anyway, Jeff says, save the drama for your mama. We are empire, military base in most countries. Federal Reserve runs the world economy. Thanks, Mike. You rock. Appreciate you, Jeff. Yeah, man. Military base in most countries. But yeah, Jeff, one thing that we've noticed is that after the whole Afghanistan debacle of our troops being yanked out of there for whatever reasons, and we haven't heard much about any other bases where they've been dialing back. But under the prior administration, Trump made it obvious that he wanted to lessen our presence around the world and bring our troops home. So that has been our primary advantage in holding down the reserve status. So do you think by all these troops being brought home, because they've been spread out for far too long anyway, but that's kind of like the U.S. forfeiting and saying, hey, we recognize the signs of the times? Or could this be a part of their agenda to try to bring all the troops home so that they'll all be able to fully participate without any hiccups, and they'll deal with the consequences and the backlash from that, so that they can continue this agenda, and then, of course, use foreign boots on foreign soil as a way of trying to really get their great reset underway. So I think it's a twofold thing. They're bringing troops home because they want to weaken our military, because in my personal opinion, anything labeled Build Back Better is already a forfeit towards the East, because that whole agenda has nothing to do with actually developing and putting our country in a better position than what it is. It's literally they're getting the last little bit of purchasing power out of the Federal Reserve note, out of the Federal Reserve system, before they usher in that next world order, and it's not going to be led by us. And I think this is their way of trying to fund everything they need to do for the corporations, the big tech companies, as well as all our former creditors. So, but yeah, that's my little long-winded rant there. But appreciate the support, man. Anyway, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think. So, will this be the continuation of the can kicking as far as this whole debt debacle, or will the forces at play, if there are division amongst the right and the left paradigm in Congress, will they really come to odds and say, hey, we just gonna let this thing sink? We'll see how low you'll be willing to let it fall or let it burn down before we come in with any type of relief, or what? I think that's something that we can talk about a little bit, or whatever else you guys want to talk about. So feel free to chime in on it via the chat. Open the phone lines in 1 second. We can love to hear your guys' thoughts. Carlos, appreciate you, man. It says just some thoughts. Think they'll allow the debt default purposefully. Another thing to blame on Republicans. No crisis to go to waste out. Roll out the Fed coin. Okay, that is definitely a possibility. All those cards could be at play, man. And that's where it's like, whether they kick the can or whether they let the cards or the house burn down, anyway, it's going to be disastrous no matter what. It's going to be very uncomfortable for the majority of people who are solely vested in this system based upon the way things were yesteryears. And it's all those promises to pay, all those contracts will be null and void. And of course, all the overinflated asset bubbles, including the housing market, has to correct at some point. So all those markets will adjust heavily, severely. And then they're going to inject buku funds. And I don't necessarily think the Fed coin is going to be rolled out right away, but it'll be the framework that would allow them to begin the narrative of needing to push that through a lot sooner than they ever could anticipate it, according to them, because they're still trying to, talk about it. We're not quite sure if it's needed and we need to study it further to make sure we're in no rush. Okay. What will put them in more of a rush other than the house of cards coming down? And they need a direct way. So the Fed coin is ultimately all about having a direct line of liquidity injection into Main Street, because once it flows through Main Street, on the back end, it'll be filtered through Wall Street, because all those, whether it be the stimulus packages, whether it be all those special purpose vehicles that they created in them as a part of their monetary toolkit, or the advent of the CBDC stuff directly injected the economy, somehow, some way, they're going to make sure the too big to fail banks get a piece of that pie, because that's what this entire system is all about, in my opinion. Okay, so let's dive into some phone calls real quick. But before I do that, I kind of been lax on my transitions as I try to work all this stuff out. But yeah, what I got to do is definitely put some information out there so people can stay plugged in and know where and how they can stay connected, as well as be a blessing to the channel. So hold on for 1 second. Visit Rethinking the Dollar throughout the day, your place for news on metals, gold, crypto, you name it. Scroll down to the bottom and you get a chance to see the daily videos, the recommended videos, and more importantly, the 5 reasons to unplug from the monetary matrix, with the first one being the awakening period. Step number 1, test your dollar IQ. 10 simple questions, average is 60%, follow up with the alternative perspective with the monetary reports. Consider becoming a supporter of the Rethinking the Dollar platform via Patreon. Get a chance to hang out off air, as well as additional information that can't be discussed on YouTube. Any support is helpful. With the crackdown on alternative media, the best thing to do is to connect off air. Scroll down to the very bottom. You can find Rethinking the Dollar on Telegram, audio, Facebook, Twitter, Parler, you name it. The most important ones will be the email list where you can get notified weekly, the Discord page, and make sure you connect on Telegram. And last, don't forget to visit the RTD store where you can get merchandise as well as additional information and resources. And most importantly, scroll down to the bottom and get your weight up with all the limited edition rounds only available on the RTD store. All right, so I had to get out the way because I meant to do it earlier, but yet I always, get stuck with doing it at the very last. So I want to definitely make sure I put that information out there for people who just pop in and popping out, so they know how to connect with RTD, just in case we're disconnected here. But anyway, I missed a couple calls already, so let's get some calls, man. Appreciate you guys for being patient. Just trying to, spice up things on my side and improve the quality of everything. So let's talk. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Mike, how's it going? This is Charles out of Atlanta.
Charles, what's going on, my friend? How you doing, boss?
Nothing much. I got 2 or 3 things if you can look up real quick. Tesla CEO, obviously Elon Musk, came out and basically stated that he feels like government shouldn't regulate crypto.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting.
Okay, so Elon Musk?
Yeah, he came out and said that the government doesn't regulate crypto, which, as well as I do, he has a lot of power and a lot of say-so, especially when it comes to SpaceX. So they may actually listen to him. I think he's inputting his information or his opinion, I would say, because he stands to lose a lot if they regulate, all these other coins that he's wash trading himself. So
yeah, interesting. Okay, what else you got, man?
The second one is, I don't know if you saw it, but the 2, I want to say they were part of SEC or Congress, wherever they stepped down for insider trading.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last night.
Yeah, I may have missed that part. And then the third one was a crypto Algorand. And I'm not trying to plug a project, but Anthony Scaramucci himself, he already came out and said Algorand's going to win the financial blockchain business. And people don't realize, too, Algorand is the Chivas wallet that's used in El Salvador was created by Algorand.
Yeah, really? Okay, that's a little heads up there. So I've heard of it, not familiar with it, but yet, as I mentioned, starting off, man, and these are projects and things that's going to be here. They're going to stick around, so might as well, educate yourself on it And as of right now, looks like Algorand is about $1.59, so down 6%. So opportunity there for those that want to speculate, man. So hey, good call, man.
Oh, no problem, Max. So just check it out. I mean, like I said, he said it, not me. He put it out there like he already said it. You know, and he has a lot of weight in finance. So.
Right, he does. Hey, appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in.
Have a good night.
You too. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. And so Algorand is one of many other protocols out there that's trying to disrupt some things. You got a problem, find a solution. As long as it delivers value, I'm sure it'll catch on. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
What's up, Mike? It's Steve from Jersey.
Steve, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Doing well.
So hopefully, Mike, I appreciate you kind of starting to be a little bit more open about crypto, and hopefully you're starting to maybe like a light bulb is coming on and you're over your head. Not you personally,
right.
But like, do you see the government's going after crypto?
I see the government right now, trying to paint that tough guy facade that they want to control this and regulate this. But I always believe that they need this in order to get them in the direction of that whole CBDC thing. So exactly how they're going to do it, I don't know. Of course, taxation will be a major part of that. And I think they're going to basically, because they're trying to figure out whether or not things are going to be labeled as securities or just regular, typical assets, i.e. like stocks. And so I think as they lay that framework out, whatever they choose to do is going to be something that benefits them and not the small time investor who they say they're trying to protect. So I think at some point they're going to rewrite a whole new level of taxation just for this sector, in my opinion.
Right. So the reason why I bring this up is that this cryptocurrency, is the fact that it wasn't created by Wall Street and the governments, right? Yes, they're one.
Now, here's the thing.
Yes.
So you're making that statement as if it's like a fact, and so other than the Bitcoin protocol, right, and it's linked to DARPA, and there's some people threw some names out there who wrote the SHA-256 and all stuff like that. So those people, I'd imagine, they had more to do with the government than away from the government, in my personal opinion.
Right. Opinions. We look at the fact of here's facts.
Mm-hmm.
Facts is that that generally speaking,
mm-hmm.
like if you look at example of gold,
yeah,
the majority of gold owners are all the central banks, right? So if you're a gold owner, you want to own gold, but
right.
the majority of it is held by all governments around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to control you, right?
Right.
So this cryptocurrency is a technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's not currency. It's a technology.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they don't have control of this technology is they're starting to realize this is bigger than what they thought this would be.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're trying to regulate it, because the reality is like this, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Do you put money into the bank?
Yeah.
Okay. You are putting money into the bank, and you're bringing your hard-earned money to the slave owners.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you don't make any money from it, you continuously put it in the bank,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's an example. There's a company called Celsius.
Yeah.
You can turn your US dollars into a USDC,
mm-hmm.
and they will give you 8.8% interest rates.
Right.
So why would you not like the banks, not like the governments, but still put your money in there, and understanding there's an opportunity for you to gain interest that's higher than even the inflation rate if it's at 5.3.
Right.
But
right.
what do people do? They complain, and they still go to the banks, the slave owners, and hand them over their money.
Right.
But there's a different opportunity. And so the thing that they don't like is that, okay,
mm-hmm.
so we're the workers. We can now lend through these companies, gain interest, and circumvent the banks.
Right. Now,
right?
but see, okay, so on the lending platform, you're referring to a Celsius, Alex Mashinsky, and the fact that now 4 states now, and I think Kentucky the most one coming there. So after Coinbase was denied their lending, services, now Celsius is under attack, BlockFi is under attack. So that's another, that's more proof that the government is going to try to intervene in these ways of people profiting off this transition. So it works all good now. I mean, I'm familiar with Celsius. I actually have an account there, so I'm familiar with it. But at some point down the line, they're going to change the rules of the game to benefit them first over the people. So take advantage of it, no doubt. No doubt. So, I hear you 100%.
Right. So don't you see the fact of it is that this technology is putting the power back into the hands of the people, where no longer you're going to now hand your money over to the bank, and they're going to have this building, and they're going to be charging you, and they're not doing nothing. And then you have to ask them for your money.
Yeah.
And you have to fill out a piece of paper. And if they're closed, then you don't have the ability to take out your money unless it's a bank, unless it's an ATM.
Right.
So the simple fact of this is, we can argue about who created it or not, but we can look at the fact is that this thing is giving more power to the people, right? Yeah. Which they don't like. And so the thing is a gold bug, you have to say, okay, you know what? I can't take my gold and I can't lend it to someone to gain interest, because the central banks and all those guys hold all the gold. And even you as a people having gold, it's still not enough to be able to counter the amount of gold that these guys hoard. Right. So the fact of this technology, they don't have control over it, and it's in the hands of the people, tells you, like, this is something that you want to keep pushing. Yeah. But if you keep putting your money into the bank and you're looking for interest, and there's opportunities like this, and people don't force the hands of government, then what happens is they're going to want to take control over it, and you're going to lose again, like you lose with gold, because they have all the gold. Right.
But hey, watch this.
They're going to determine what the price is.
I appreciate your call and your thoughts. I feel you. Like, I'm not anti-crypto. I've been dipping and dabbing for some time. I just never preached it or really promote it, because as of now, it's only 11 years old. It's 11 years old for us. Therefore, it's untested in the environments, I think, that's coming. So it's according to your own risk tolerance, basically what it boils down to. I feel more confident in gold and silver just because it's historically proven. And when it comes to the banking sector itself, I've never been an advocate of have all your liquid net worth in there, because it's not yours. So I only keep in banks what I'm willing to lose ultimately. So just for, overhead sake. But anyway, let me get some more calls, man. I appreciate you calling as always. Good back and forth, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy your night.
Yeah, be good. Hello, caller. Where are we calling from? Maybe I didn't. I had lost somebody. Anyway, so yeah, good stuff, man. Appreciate the call. And so that's another thing. So like in the crowd, it looks like it's about maybe 200 and some people tuning in. Let me know. I wish I can do a survey real quick, but I'm curious, based upon the people that's tuned in right now, by thumbs up if you're a part of the cryptocurrency community, thumbs up, and thumbs down if you want nothing to do with it, you have not done nothing with it, just so I get an idea as to where everybody stands. Because the base of this channel has always been precious metals, just because that to me has been the essence of the monetary framework forever. But also with the advent of this new decentralized blockchain ledger stuff, I am of interest. I'm interested in it. I do dip and dabble in it. So I'm not, banking my life upon this stuff succeeding or not, because I think life is going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot more issues that we're going to be focused on beyond just our financial side. But I'm curious to see in the chat what you guys, as far as those that are viewers of this channel, because as I mentioned before, I'm interested in learning more myself and probably reaching out to some blockchain individuals to further educate us if people are interested. Hello, caller. What's name are you calling from?
Mike, Tony from Oakland, one more time.
Yes, sir. It's good to hear your voice one more time. Tone.
And I'm glad he brought you through, man, so we can talk about this.
Definitely. No. What's on your mind, man?
Say again, Mike.
I said, what's in your mind, man? So I threw out that little question about the whole blockchain space, and as to whether or not it's worth doing more educational diving down for the channel's sake. And what are your thoughts, man? I assume you dip and dabble. Am I correct or no?
No, I don't own. I don't own any.
Okay.
I see where the crypto community is coming from,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to clear my mind
Mm-hmm.
of everything that's been taught to me.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to clear my mind of everything I think I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to open my mind up to the possibilities of what is or what my research brings me to.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it currently that we have? A shortage of dollars, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's make an alternative. Let's go with Bitcoin. Let's do that. Okay, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
What else is the issue? We have a shortage of energy,
Right.
correct?
Right.
Okay, what takes up a lot of energy? Bitcoin, Ethereum, all those things take up a lot of energy. So for me to invest in something that they're eventually probably going to just cancel because it burns too much energy, we can't do this. Look at China. What happened after they canceled Bitcoin?
Well, okay, so the proof of work, which is very electrical intensive because of the mining rigs. True, proof of stake is running a node on your laptop. They got it now. Though. We got projects where you can run a node on your cell phone. So it's not much more energy than we would normally use just surfing the web or watching Instagram type stuff. And so,
well, Mike,
it's still gonna be ironed out. Yeah, go ahead.
You said it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is derived off of energy. It's not just a mining machine.
Very
I'm
true.
talking about the world.
So
you make a widget. It has to take energy.
Yeah. So, but that's like the power. Every aspect of our lives require energy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about just like electricity in the house is primarily what we focus on when it comes to this new software code type stuff. Am I correct?
Okay, Mike. We need to take this energy thing serious because look what happened to England.
Yeah,
they're talking about dark winter.
Yeah,
look what happened to China. They're shutting off street lights.
Yeah,
you don't think that's coming here?
Oh no doubt. And to my knowledge, I'm sure I could be wrong, but that's definitely based upon like some natural gas issues that is causing them to have to cut down some of the power plants and things like that. And they talk about firing up coal plants again, stuff like that, which goes against their climate change agenda. So I don't doubt that stuff is going to happen here, but I think it's going to be more so not the scarcity or shortage, but more so just the cost of whatever it is going to be coming out and coming towards consumers is going to go up. So I think there's going to be enough energy. It's just going to come at a much more steeper price, which is going to cause a lot of problems for people. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Let's go back to zero. Let's forget everything we learned.
Okay.
Let's take up your argument.
Okay.
You just fired 13 million people.
Mm-hmm.
Or 13 million? Yeah, something like that. 13 trillion. It's an astronomical number of people who still hadn't got jobs back.
Right.
And energy's going up. Who's going to be able to afford energy at that point?
Not
this
many.
Is winter. We're coming up on winter.
Right.
And who's going to afford that gas bill that's going to come? Gas is already $5, and they talking like it's going to be $100 at the coming out of the spigot.
Yeah.
In this winter.
Yeah.
The people are hurting now. And this whole electricity thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to go down. And what happens if you go 10 days of darkness like Biden says? Are you going to have your mining machine up and running?
Of course not. But here's the thing.
Not.
So,
what happens after 10 days? It was like, well, let's cancel this thing.
But those are going to become the primary conditions of pain and that they want to then come out and say we need to now roll out the Boost Act of giving people $2,000 a month to help cover some of the costs. We need to pass the child care energy bill to give houses free internet because you know what I'm saying. So this is the condition they want though. So I think that was going to happen regardless as to whether or not we had crypto, mining rigs and stuff like that, no matter what. And then you factor in what about all the banks now, all the banks that are supporting this sector. They definitely not gonna miss out, and so all this is for them anyway. So I'd imagine they're gonna find some way to keep the mining things going, so that them boys are still producing and earning them income because I think they've come too far with this push to go decentralize, crypto stuff, to let it fail now because of energy. You know what I'm saying? So if it does happen,
I would encourage you to go look at the bank's profits. They've been going down.
So they talk about their exposure of supporting this whole new sector.
No, not even the sector. They just look at their overall profit. The bank's profits are going down. They're losing money. They're bleeding out.
Yeah, and
the banks aren't in favor of this. Only reason that they would be in favor of it, to me, is if it's not, it's a difference between currency and money.
Yeah,
it's just another form of money. That's like saying a tulip. That's like saying a Bitcoin. It's just another form of money. It's not currency.
Yeah.
And that's all they're doing. And you can't believe anything unless they bring out the currency. You can predict, okay, it's money. How long is that going to last? How long did the euro dollar last? They started that 15 years ago, and they couldn't even tell you how much money is in the euro dollar system. So they start Bitcoin. They can't tell you. They tell you it's 2 trillion, but is it really 2 trillion? Who's keeping track of this?
Good point. So give me your final conclusion on this whole matter, Mr. TB.
My conclusion is that I think everybody should prepare for a cold winter, and just try to stay safe and continue on and take care of others, man.
Hey.
And forget about the Bitcoin, forget about the gold, and just take care of yourself over the winter, because I'm believing that it could be something happening this winter that we aren't even prepared for.
I can definitely get an agreement with you on that, because I'd imagine they meaning the orchestra, they want more pain and devastation in the economy. So either they're going to plan for something, or it's already baked into the cake. Yeah,
we're getting the Feds and the bankers are too much credit. Let's pretend like we didn't.
I'm talking about
I'm
talking about the evil ones, like Bill Gates, Soros, and all their paid advertisement of what they want to put out there. They're going to throw out 2 more fake variants this winter. It's going to be another variant coming. That's going to be more than enough for them to take it to the next phase of cracking down and saying mandatory this, mandatory that. You can't go here. No interstate travel, no flying. All those things that are on the books right now.
We allow them to do. They answer to us. We can only allow them to. We do what they allow. What they do, what we allow us to do.
Yeah.
Them to do. Sorry about that.
No, I got you.
What we allow them to do. They don't run nothing. We running things. There's more of us than them, and people need to get that in their head that we the one to call the shots.
That is true. That is true. And between now and that time frame, hopefully more people are waking up, because I do believe there is an awakening right now. People realize they've been lied to from day one. And so hopefully before then, we'll have enough of a footing to actually really be able to push back and say, no, tell our local as well as national and all those congressmen, we not doing that. That'd be great. But once again, I'm not going to hold my breath on that, because I think until we've never been pushed to the brink of complete what is what I'm trying to say? We've never been pushed over the edge in this country yet, because we've been spoiled, complacent, and very blessed to this point. So I think
I'll say this, and I'll let someone else get in.
Yeah,
you can take a light, put it under a basket, hide it behind a tree. Eventually, that light's going to come through.
Hey, that's very true.
So we're going to see the light.
Yeah. Hey, I can ride with that, man. Appreciate you, T.
Keep your head up.
Yeah, be good.
Bye.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. So basically, based upon all the thumbs up, thumbs downs I was thumbing through, and of course, TB, great back and forth, man. Appreciate you, and that's why it's important to get a multitude of counsel amongst a lot of wise individuals to call in and share their 2 cents, man. So I appreciate you guys for chiming in. And of course, most of this is based upon all the information we've gathered and try to process, and to use it to our best of our ability to make the best decisions we can. Hello, caller. Where we calling from? Do I got somebody on here? Let me see. I had somebody on here. Here we go. Give me 1 second. Forgive me. Here we go. Maybe not. Speaker on. Not a phone. I acted up. Give me 1 second. That's what happens when you got too much stuff going at once. Okay. Answer. Let's see if we can get somebody on here. So I'm answering. Ain't that about a son of a gun? All right, so I got somebody here. Let's see. All right, let's try this. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from? Well, it looks like there's some malfunctioning going on here. So I have people calling. I'm clicking answer. All right, give me 1 second here. Talk amongst yourselves. I would love to be able to get somebody on here, but for some reason. Hello? Steve, give me 1 second, man. I'm having issues, call waiting on here. So everything, I lose calls as they come in. How you doing? Hello?
Hey, yeah.
Hey, Steve, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, I just want to go back to the caller where you're talking about the crypto, and I'm not sure if he misunderstood you with what you were saying or what, but if I'm correct, you could correct me if I'm wrong. I think you were saying that there's nothing wrong with somebody buying crypto, investing in it, and to make their money.
Right.
I don't think that you were saying not to do that.
Right.
I think you were trying to get clear to the guy that you believe that the crypto itself is a government mousetrap, which I agree with.
Right.
I don't agree. Under no circumstances do I agree with some guy. I forgot the name. What was the name of the guy that they said made it or whatever?
Let me see. There's a name. I can't think of the name, but who?
Yeah.
Shoot.
It sounded like was it an Asian type name or something?
No, this was an American guy who, he's a computer software engineer, computer genius. He created some stuff before he patented or something like that. SHA 256. David. Oh, there we go right here. Okay. I think this is it. No, that's not it. The wrong person. But it's David somebody or something like that. Anyway, it'll come to me whenever.
Yeah, even whatever his name is, with DARPA and all of that stuff sitting around under, and then the spiritual aspect around all of this stuff too.
Yeah.
There's no way that I believe that this dude came up with this and it was made for the people. I don't think it was made for the people. I think it was made by the government for a mousetrap.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with using it for what you want to use it for. But, at the end of the day, we've never seen this. We've never seen a picture of this guy. Yeah. We've never seen an interview from this guy.
Are you talking about Satoshi Nakamoto? The Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Never done an interview. I mean, come on. I can't believe that. Yeah. But I don't see anything wrong with somebody making money off of it, though.
Yeah.
But I certainly don't believe that it was made for the people.
Right. I agree.
I think it was made to enslave the people.
Right.
I think. That being said, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That being said, and what about this U.S. code 666?
Let me see here. Did you? I saw it. Let me see. I'm gonna pop it up right now. Give me the rundown on that real quick.
Email. Yeah, it's dealing with that thing that Biden passed about businesses having to have people, over 100 employees. They have to have the jab or something. That's what it is. But then they turn around and name it U.S. Code 666.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I'm gonna dive into that one, man. But yeah, and so to go back to that Bitcoin stuff, man. That Satoshi Nakamoto, the fact that they've become so obsessed with what the technology is capable of doing, and it's supposed to be freeing humanity and all that stuff like that. But yet, never mind, its origins. I mean, it's amazing how people can get away from that because they can say, just trust the code. The code is it's unmutable, it's infallible, it's on this, it's omnipresent and all that in one. It can't be stopped. Like, but it's computer code. Like somebody created it in a damn computer in a lab somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's the stuff that just gets me going bananas because I'm thinking like people have gone too far in believing that code is the answer to our world's problems. And it's much, much, much deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? But it can be used. It's a tool. It's a tool only. Don't get it twisted thinking it's going to be the difference maker between how humanity evolves or doesn't. So that's just my opinion, man.
No, absolutely. It's a government mousetrap.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Under no circumstances do I believe it was made for the people.
Right.
So the people didn't have to. No, that mouse is going to come in there, and that hammer is going to come down on it. Bam.
Right.
That's.
I agree, man.
Anyway,
appreciate you, man.
Enjoy the rest of the evening, bro.
Will do, man.
God bless.
Same to you, boss. Appreciate you. Hey, and also when we hung up last night, somebody mentioned in the chat about your guy Charles, and it was on my mind. And so I'll definitely make sure I remember it tonight because I got caught up in my whole little rants and forgot about it. But definitely gonna lift them up in prayer tonight, man.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, one last thing too before you go. Did you? I know you probably didn't have time to read, but did you read the email on the email that said it was titled "Things Are Manifesting"?
Yes, the three-part series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We could talk about that another time, but that's definitely going to be a can of worms right there. That's the rabbit hole. That's the rabbit hole for sure.
I'm gonna make sure I share it.
We can talk about that another time.
All right, good deal. Appreciate you, man.
All right, take care now.
Yep. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good back and forth. And so let me real quick. So this and once again, this goes into how everything is set up in a very timely manner for this exact day and age that we're in. Nothing is by surprise. Nothing is just out here just because. And it goes back to, let me show you guys here. And I wanted to piggyback on this real quick because I don't want to miss this out. But, when I came across this a couple years ago and saw how this date was coming up. So this was, I think it was back in 2017 or so. I came across this cover thinking about 2018, like, damn, well, what's going to happen between now and then? I'm like, get ready for a world currency and saw this image here. I'm thinking like, wow. And this, mind you, 2017, 16, I was aware of Bitcoin and the whole space. And so I was like, man, is this going to be what they have in play for the future? Are they going to use this, whatever? And then to see how Bitcoin and all that space was designed to disrupt the bankers, unbank yourself, be your own bank. All that stuff was being preached then. And then right after the 2017, 18, bull run coming down the stretch, you had a little crash, 18, 19. And then the next wave was, we got to wait for financial institution and adoption because they're going to bring all the, the institutional money. And I'm thinking like, if they're going to bring the institutional money in, then I mean, they're going to also bring in strict regulations. So do we really want all this institutional money, or are we just okay with what we have now and let this current monetary system run its course? And they're going to destroy all currencies in of itself. And by default, all blockchain-based projects is going to rise to the top in dollar terms, especially because there's going to be a lot of people running for cover. But now we're at the point now where it's gone from disruptive to now asking for permission to operate. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm like, oh yeah, they set us up real good. Anyway, missing all types of calls. Forgive me. All right, let's get some calls in here. All right, let me see here. Shoot. Where we go? Here we go. Oops, here we go. Let's come on. Get this one here. So I'm clicking answer. So let's see if we can get this. Hello. Well, forgive me. I apologize. I got it's overloaded. Too many calls popping up at once, and it's not letting me answer. Here we go. Let's try this one. Here we go. Hello, caller. Where we calling from? Hello? Maybe not. All right. So, man, I got to get this right. Here we go. There's somebody here. Hello?
Right. You got it right, Mike. It's Miles from NY.
Miles from NY. What's going on, my man?
Not much, man. I just want to run something past you, man. I don't know if you know yet.
Go ahead, give me some.
They switched it up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
The jab ain't the jab no more. Watch out, guys. The jab ain't the jab no more. They turned it into a pill. Red pill, blue pill. I don't know which one, but it's a pill now.
Yeah,
all of that kick that they was getting from the jab, and if you get the jab, this happened, that happened. They took that and they flipped it and said, you know what? We're gonna make it a pill. So when everybody's saying, oh, this about the jab, and you get the side effect, and this, they're going to roll it out all brand new packaging, everything, man. They're going to get everybody else like the Pied Piper. They're going to make them think that there's nothing wrong with it. There's no side effects. If you swallow it, you make them drop your bowels out You know,
Yeah.
like, I'm telling you, yeah, man, it's going down. I've seen an article. I was like, you gotta be joking. And when you see it, they show you a picture of a red pill and a blue pill.
Really?
Which one you going to take? Now I'm just like, man, these people, there's no end to them. They flipping it. Soon it's going to be over the counter. When they finish getting everybody, and you got to consistently take it, you're gonna find out it's over the counter now. You know, so that's why they turn it into the pill form. They already on the next step.
Now
like,
watch this.
Okay, yeah.
Watch this. Let me share something with you else that also ups that. And let me see. Let me share something with you real quick, just to show you how sick and twisted it's really getting. I'm gonna pop an article on the screen real quick, and then I'll mention it. But they have they have now, they're able to put the mRNA technology inside of vegetables. So now they're making it to where like they can actually grow fresh produce that incorporates the mRNA stuff to give you the same amount of dosages that you will get from a pill or an injection. So it's going to be pretty much in everything that you can probably put in your mouth or in your body indirectly. So that's how sick and twisted this is going. Just to let you know if you didn't know about that already.
No, man, I ain't heard nothing about that. They probably spraying us right now through planes. These people, man, you gotta take care of yourself, man. You really do.
Yeah.
For the other guy that called in about the crypto and gold, I just have to say this, man. Yeah, central banks hold gold. They hold gold because when it's time for them to get out the system, they need their own lifeboat, their own preserver.
Yeah.
They got as much gold as they want. As long as you got some, you can get out that system. You can trade it. You can do whatever you want. You earn interest. It's something totally separate. But me, I do dabble with the cryptos because you don't know in this environment. You may need one thing in order to get you to the next thing.
Yeah.
Like right now, I think I may need a solar generator more than I would any of that stuff.
Right.
You know, I think I'm gonna need a couple of jars of canned food more than I'll need any of that other stuff, you know?
Right.
And you may need some steel. You don't know. You just gotta have everything, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and get to where you got to go, man.
Very
but
true.
I ain't gonna eat up the time. Stay up.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, and also let me acknowledge the super chat. Apologize, Rick. I'm trying to find it in my little feed here to put it on the screen, but it's not showing me. But Rick, I appreciate the love offer, my friend. Very generous donation. Thank you. It says long-term threat to crypto is quantum computing, hands down. And so that's something that no, Bitcoin maximalist can ever deny. Like I remember when I had Max Kaiser on, and I threw out, what about just being a skeptic? I'm thinking like, what about, quantum computing, AI down the line. He was like, well, yeah, that's something definitely to consider because, we ain't got that far yet. And in my personal opinion, they would never roll out something or allow, not saying they would never allow, but they would never really let it get out of hand in its entirety unless they were able to somehow, some way reel this thing back in or control the narrative in their own timing. And so it's my personal opinion that in the near future, they already got the game plan in works for how to disrupt the whole decentralized blockchain space. Because mind you, it's computer code, and the primary problem that the quantum computers would have to solve is just simply finding your private keys. So you got the public key and the private key all intermingled with a single blockchain. The public is what was visible, and then the private is what you hold yourself. The quantum computer can pretty much, I'm assuming, if not already, that we don't know about, the quantum computers we don't know about, the ones they tell us about from Google and the ones in China and IBM, we know about those. So those are not that powerful, but the ones they haven't told us about yet, I'd imagine those boys can probably, disrupt and find all private keys to all of those blockchains. Because not only project I'm aware of, because I've actually watched some shows, is Monero. Monero, which is the privacy coin, they're actually working on that now. They're really trying to work around that as we speak, so that they can get ahead of the curve. And I don't think there'll ever be Bitcoin consensus to allow them to come together to do that in time. So I think if Bitcoin, because it's the numero uno, if Bitcoin was to be exposed, i.e. through quantum computers and AI because AI quantum merged together is going to be the fourth industrial revolution. So you better believe somehow, some way, everything we do is going to merge with that. And so once and if Bitcoin is brought down through that type of technology that we know nothing about as of now, then I think that'll impact every single blockchain after that, because a good portion of the most popular ones use the code of Bitcoin to kind of tweak and do their own projects. So when one goes, a lot more will follow, and therefore confidence will be completely gone, and then we'll be on to what else. And of course, you can say that they'll probably, they can probably disrupt the CBDCs too. And of course, they know that. But if they control the quantum and the AI, they're not going to disrupt their own. And definitely, they're not going to disrupt the too big to fail banks, which are probably the ones that's funding all that stuff right now, in my opinion. So anyway, that's just me. Could be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. But in the meantime, use it to your advantage, because you never know when it could be the plug can be pulled or the rug snatched from underneath you. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Mike, what's going on, man? It's Crypto K from Chicago.
Crypto K, what's going on, man? Give me some good words today.
Man, just tuning in, man, because, Mike, I since I talked to you last, it's been a while, actually. Yeah. But I become a maximalist, man. I never thought I'd become this, but now I'm a maximalist.
Really?
I mean, I'm totally in. I'm a BTC Maxi Laser Eyes 100K, man, beyond.
Like on some, like you caught the Michael Saylor bug, huh?
Man, I don't know if I don't see. Here's the thing about it is, man, nobody's bigger than Bitcoin. I hate to sound like an evangelist, but I know that's probably irritating. That's probably something that, turns the bulk of people off from crypto, and I can understand it. But it's like the word, man. When you put in, it's a difference between somebody who put in an hour, of researching, and somebody who's put in many hours, man. When you put in a lot of hours or something, I'm believe me, I don't think anybody. I don't know who's at 10,000. Maybe Satoshi himself is at 10,000 hours. Yeah, that's a lot. Maybe Michael Saylor. I don't know. Who knows? But even without that, I'm a maximum. I had all type of coins. I had altcoins. I had Doge, some Doggy coin. I had some Litecoin, some big. I sold everything, dude, and it's all in the Bitcoin because
sold everything to go 100% BTC. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I sold everything, dude. Wow. And here's the thing: I sold it before this weekend, but this weekend, some things they knock you down, and you be like, okay, wow. Interesting. I was glad to be ahead of the curve. But I saw, I've been seeing a lot of stuff with Gary Gensler, Michael Saylor's talking about it, Raoul Paul, because that was really what let me know. Because I'm big on Saylor, dude. But he's right. He's right. The only thing about Bitcoin that makes it, one of the only things is it's centralized. It's decentralized. It's decentralized, dude. Everything else. It's centralized. Everything else, you can go knock on the owner's door. They can go knock on his door and say, "Come outside," and we need to talk to you.
Well, watch this. All the Bitcoin nodes are publicly visible on the internet down to the IP address. So in every jurisdiction around the world, they're basically that's public knowledge to where they know this warehouse in Iceland on the whatever coast runs Bitcoin mine. So at some point in the future, is there a likelihood that when they're ready to really cause some issues, all governments, especially if China going to call themselves trying to run this new world order or whatever they're trying to do, you won't be able to do business with China unless you pass legislation saying that every miner in your country that's publicly visible on the ledger, they must be turned off or you're going to be fined. Your social credit score is going to get knocked down. Is that something you ever think is possible?
Man, you know what? I'm not gonna let China be the thing that stops me, man.
Right, understandable.
China bans everything. China bans everything. Yeah, and they usually create their own version of it because they want to be more centralized.
And knockoff version.
They want to be very centralized. Yeah, but all that did again because China banned us. What? China bans us more than than Jazz got through out the door on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Every episode. Every time something happens, China bans Bitcoin. Yeah, but again, the point is new emerging technologies. The way China is set up, the way they want to have control, they have totalitarianism. All of that. They already had a social credit score. They want to be on a different route. And that's fine. That's fine. But again, with Bitcoin, put like this, we have no choice at this point. Mike D, would you say less? would you say anything otherwise that we have a choice other than, to stay in fiat? Do we have a choice to stay in fiat at this point?
We have a choice to stay in anything. Now it's a matter of thinking about the risk of that choice in the long-term perspective, 1 year, 5 year, 10 years, and as of right now, we know fiat still serves a purpose because it still spends, but yet based upon all the activity they're throwing out there now, it's going to be some point where it won't get you as much. So you won't pretty much put all your eggs in one basket. And I think that's just the whole idea of being diversified in accordance to what you believe in for now and the future. So I'm an opponent. I'm for having a little bit of all that, but yet I'm more concentrated in the heavy metal space just because of insurance purposes only. Hope I never need to use it, but if it needed out, it's there. Speculative to cryptos because I think it's what they want us to be a part of, and it's going to definitely rise because it's going to take off a lot higher than metals will. I'm more than confident of that. But it'll allow me to then get some weight up as well. So I'm using it. That's my whole point with that.
Now you spoke about the nodes. You talked about the private keys being able to be detected and things like that. But, one thing about it is this, Gary Gensler, and that's why I say a lot of this information right now is paramount. He said, we like Bitcoin. He didn't say we like it. He can't say that. He's not going to say that. But he said, what? That's not it's not security.
Not security, yeah.
He's made that very known that that's the only one. Everybody else at some point is going to be trouble. And I say, think about the past in the future. Well, we know they will take the gold.
Yeah.
We know we've seen them take the gold. They will take the gold. But again, with the nodes and everything like that, we have the choice. Because again, they can take it. Well, what do you do? Just move to a different jurisdiction that allows it. That's what game theory starts.
That's if you can. That's if you can roam freely at that time and that time and space. Because if you haven't participated in their experimentation, then your access to certain privileges will probably be revoked. So that's on the authoritarian type, that side of things.
I tell you what, Mike.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if Bitcoin goes up, or if crypto, whatever person decides to be it, I would say get out of everything else right now. Decentralize everything. That's my advice to everybody. But let's say you do that. You think if Bitcoin goes up, you can't know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who could probably airlift you to for the right price.
I hear you. Oh man,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
good stuff, man.
Money makes everything happen. I was thinking about cash rules everything around me.
Right.
That's a terrible song now, dude. It's catchy, but damn it, I don't want cash rule. That's why everything's messed up.
Yeah,
I thought about that.
So you're gonna change that to Bitcoin rules everything around me.
and everything turns good.
Hey man,
I'm gonna say everything goes good because it's gonna be side effects for everything. It was side effects with the automobile car accident. Yeah, it was side effects with the plane accident. Right, 60 people, 100 people to be killed at one time. Right, train accidents and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but it's a lot more. There's a lot more good that came out of that as far as moving our civilization forward.
Yeah,
I think it worked than the bad things. And in quantum computing, hell, like I say, that's in the future.
Yeah. So the future is a lot. Hey, watch this. The future is a lot closer than we all know. You know what I'm saying? Based upon stuff that we don't. So technology wise, I'd imagine they're 10, 20 years ahead of what we're even aware of what they've allowed to be made public. And if that is the case, then quantum computers at the capacity it would need to be at in order to solve those extreme problems of finding your 32 digits or 16 digit keys or whatever it is, they probably got that tech. And that's why I don't think my guess would be they know that there's no way of having a CBDC in every nation on this planet and then also having people believe that their freedom comes through a private, decentralized cryptocurrency style approach. They would know they would fail. So clearly, to let all this come out the way that it has, telling us that in 2018 there'll be a new world currency and it'll be a coin, all that symbolism. I would imagine they already knew what they want to work towards. Now we'll see if they succeed or not. But in the meantime, I think meaning the evil ones, like the ones that worship the Lucifer, according to his game plan for mankind. He's in on all this as well. So not to give him any credit, but these guys ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? They got a game plan. It's not, hopefully we can step up, intervene, and the Lord can do his thing. But yeah, anyway, I'm getting carried away.
Mike, when you say they though, who do you speak of? Is it United States? Who do you say they?
When I say they, I mean the people who are the most influential in this whole monetary Ponzi scheme. So the people who are the shareholders of the too big to fail banks, that are the shareholders of the central banks, those families that are sitting on the most gold, I believe, that we don't know about, because we've all been given this illusion that the richest people on the planet is Elon Musk and Bill Gates. They're wealthy in fiat currency. I'm talking about the people who own the fiat currency. Those are the evil and twisted ones. And Bill Gates and Soros, they're puppets, in my opinion, that's a part of, like, the Davos group. And so they have the group get together, but then there's people who don't probably make an appearance at the group that gives the itinerary for everybody to follow. You know what I'm saying? Type of people. And I'm giving too much credit, but it's those dark families just probably emerge with demonic spirits and all that satanic stuff, man. Those are the people I think that's working a lot of this as well. Because in my personal opinion, the where the enemy lies at and where he operates at the highest levels is in entertainment, in Wall Street, and in politics. And I think all three of those sectors have been hijacked with demonic forces for ages, because that's just the best place to control the world from, I think.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I'm gonna leave with this, Mike, man.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think, us being, I forgot, it was Einstein post. It was like a funny meme, but it was saying, like, conspiracy theorists only sound stupid to dumbasses. Like, you know what I'm saying? We only sound stupid. We only sound crazy to people who aren't that intelligent. You know what I mean? Because again, it's that way. But I say this: once we get down to the yellow brick road, and the little person who runs it is like a little person.
That is very possible. Like, no, I never saw that coming. Hey, man, I appreciate you calling, man. Appreciate you, man.
And they weren't that smart. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't that damn bad. And we thought it was gonna be like, oh no, we just maybe I don't know.
We made it more complicated than what it really was, man.
Exactly.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Take care.
Be good. Yeah. Yep. Hello, Carlos. Where you calling from? Hello.
Hey, Mike, it's Felix in Santa Monica.
Felix, what's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Man, I just love to see you roll, baby. It's been a great show.
Appreciate you, man. What's on your mind?
Yeah, the thing I just came up with, all the way through this conversation is we're looking in all the different areas to try and get information that is going to help us and that's important for our families. And you and I both know, man, the only thing that really matters in all of this thing that we're going through is, do I know where I'm going to be when I die?
Right.
Do I know who owns me and who holds me and who has a plan for all of us?
Right.
And it's Jesus Christ. And I love the fact that you're holding the lamp stand so strong.
Yeah.
And anyone that's still listening, hey, if you're even thinking about where you're going to go when you die, that's because you're in this house with us, and we want you to come with us. And
I like that.
It's real simple. It's a very simple decision that you get to make.
Yeah.
And so I'm just putting it out there to anyone in the family that has been on the fence maybe and not sure about where they're going to go when they die.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ loves you, and he died for you, and he rose from the dead so that you could be with him in eternity. And heaven is the place that we want to put our treasure. We want to put our thoughts towards that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the guy who walked across this field and saw it, and then there was something of great value in it. And what did he do at that field? Do you remember?
He left everything, went and sold what he had, came back and bought the field.
And Jesus basically said, the kingdom of heaven is worth everything and more that you could ever want. And the cool thing is we don't have to pay for it. That's the cool thing. We don't have to come up with a strategy to pay for it. It's free. It's a free gift.
Yeah.
So anyway, I love you, and I love what you do, man. And I love the community, and I know that God's going to use this time for many to come to know him. and I'm glad to be a part of that.
Yes, sir. Same here, man. And good way to close it out, man. Appreciate you for calling and sharing that. That was definitely a good way to wrap this thing up for the night, man. Some good news. So appreciate you, man. Thank you.
You too, brother.
Be good. Yeah, right on time, man. What a that was not by coincidence right there. That was a great call to end on, man. And so, of course, ending with some good news, man. We all know what this is about. It's all about the human soul. So all this talk tonight was all just on the surface, just talking about things we know based upon the education we've received and the critical thinking we use to try to process all this. But at the end of the day, there's been more stories about people who are unaware of what's really going on. They participated and their life have come up short, or they're on the ropes for their life. And so ultimately it's about the life you live now, the works that you've done now that will be a part of who you are and what you're carrying on forever, because we'll be rewarded, both good and bad, for our endeavors on this earth here. So let's make it count, man. And it counts with how we treat people, how we are a blessing to other people, how we love, how we give, all those attributes that are things that you just don't, just not taught in this realm. It's only in a part of that other realm, which is the heavenly realm, are those just normal attributes of life. And so here we have good news, man, from the good man himself, our Savior, Jesus Christ. It said all we got to do is believe and we'll receive him and we'll spend eternity with him. And and at one point, heaven will be brought to earth, man. That's one thing that I was mentioning last night that excites me, that all this will be wiped away. We'll have a new slate and living with our Creator for eternity. I can't fathom eternity, but I try sometime. But anyway, people, let's close out tonight as always. Want to make sure everybody is on board. So just get in agreement with us tonight and just to give honor and praise where it's due. And that's the King himself, Jesus Christ, because this is all his. We are all a part of his kingdom and his body. And we're here for some work right now. Let's get it done, man. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to connect tonight. We thank you for just gathering us as a community, Lord. We ask that you continue to do great things in each and every one of our lives, Father. Give us the strength and boldness to continue to proclaim you as our Lord and Savior without fear or without doubt or without shame, but just with confidence, Lord, that you will be glorified through the words that come out of our mouths and the actions that we undertake in these bodies, Father. We ask you to be with our brothers and sisters out there, Lord, that you continue to watch over, protect, and keep those. We pray for our brother Charles out in California who is going through some health issues, Father. We pray that you will be with him and his family right now. Give him strength and courage, Father. Allow your power to work within his body, Father, to allow him to overcome what the enemy has set up against him, Father. We pray for all of our other brothers and sisters in the Middle East, as well as in Asia and all those other areas where just the idea of speaking your name and talking about your goodness it leads to problems and chaos over there. But we pray that you continue to give them boldness and courage to continue to preach and stand firm on your word, Father, knowing that their attack is not against them, but it's against you and them believing in you, Father. We pray that they stand with some courage, Father, throughout their everyday actions, Father. We just thank you for being faithful in all that you have done and will do. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. All right, people. That is all she wrote for tonight. What a great live stream. I enjoyed it. As always, for those that tune in, hit the thumbs up button, show your support for the channel. And then if you found any value, feel free to reach out to family and friends and invite them to come hang out with us and be encouraged as well as informed, and to have a chance to, let their hair down and just rant a little bit as well through the talk show portion. But anyway, be blessed, be safe, and back at it again another day, Lord willing. And I'll see you guys later. Peace. Visit Rethinking the Dollar throughout the day, your place for news on metals, gold, crypto, you name it. Scroll down to the bottom and you get a chance to see the daily videos, the recommended videos, and more importantly, the 5 reasons to unplug from the monetary matrix, with the first one being the awakening period. Step number 1, test your dollar IQ. 10 simple questions, average is 60%, followed up with the alternative perspective with the monetary reports. Consider becoming a supporter of the Rethinking the Dollar platform via Patreon. Get a chance to hang out off air as well as additional information that can't be discussed on YouTube. Any support is helpful. With the crackdown on alternative media, the best thing to do is connect off air. Scroll down to the very bottom. You can find Rethinking the Dollar on Telegram, audio, Facebook, Twitter, Parler, you name it. The most important ones will be the email list where you can get notified weekly, the Discord page, and make sure you connect on Telegram. And last, don't forget to visit the RTD store where you can get merchandise as well as additional information and resources. And most importantly, scroll down to the bottom and get your weight up with all the limited edition rounds only available on the RTD store.